Hey there, this is Dr. Evan Osar with the Institute for Integrative Health and Fitness Education. Welcome to this edition of Facebook Live for Saturday. So most of us are on lockdown and we're going to probably go to further lockdown where we can't even leave our houses. But while we have that opportunity, I'm come to my facility here. We're a medical facility so we can legally still stay open, and I still want to bring you great information because again, we're all in this together. We all are struggling with our finances, or worrying about our business, our financial, our relationships, and what's going to happen to the economy, as well as maybe your own health or your health of your family and or loved ones. So we're all in this together. We're sending you peace and love through this time. All we can do right now is support each other and do the things that we can do that are within our control, and that's taking control of our mindset as well as your health. And there's lots of things you can do at home. So we want to continue to bring you great information so that way you can go out there as a health and fitness professional and continue to support your industry, I should say your community, as well as the people in your lives. So one of the questions I got recently on our Instagram page at IIHFE, and again, we're bringing you all this information for free. We're not trying to make any money off this. We just want to support you, your family, your friends, and your community. So one of the things we do is put out tons of free information. If you followed us, you understand that and you know that. So we'll continue to do that, and we're actually going to give you even more information. So if you have questions and or things you want to learn and understand during this time, please allow us to serve you. If there's anything else we can do for you, please let us know that as well. So one of the questions I got recently is a woman who wrote in from, I believe she's over in Europe somewhere, Sweden maybe, and she asked me, I can't really feel my glutes, feel my quads. So in last Facebook Live, I addressed why people can't actually feel their glutes and feel quad dominant or have weak glutes. And it's not about weak glutes, it's not about being quad dominant, it's about not using the hip hinge properly. Because what happens for a lot of us, and I had the same issues with myself and a lot of my clients as well, is what happens is when we squat, and we've been taught to squat, we've been taught to basically have the clients push their hips back, and that becomes the first motion they do. First motion should be push your hips back, and that's actually not the first motion that should happen during a squat, especially when you're squatting for exercise, but also when you squat and sit, because she also reported to me, she's like, I have pain when I sit. My low back really bothers me when I sit. And it's basically the exact same thing that causes people to have discomfort when they sit. So I want to share with you, just again, recap what I talked about last time and just show you a couple variations. How do you load the squat, or how do we load the squat here with our clients in our clinic? And also, how do you sit properly so that you can minimize low back pain, since we're going to be doing a lot of sitting around these days because we are sort of on lockdown, so to speak. So one of the things we talked about last time is it has to start with alignment. And my buddies poke fun at me. They're like, what are you doing with all this stuff with all your body? It's like, I'm basically setting myself up for success during the exercise. And you can think of this like a golfer stepping up to a putt. Does a golfer ever just walk up to a putt and just go like, okay, here's the ball, I'm just gonna whack it? No. Amateur golfers, yes. Recreational golfers, maybe yes. But a professional golfer never does that. And same thing with a professional weightlifter. If you look at an Olympic lifter before an Olympic lift, do they ever just walk up to the bar and just grab it and go? No. They mentally get themselves ready. They get their body in the right position. They've rep these lifts, or this golf swing, or maybe a baseball swing. A batter does the same exact thing. They've repped this thousands and thousands and thousands of times. So what I'm doing when I set myself up is I'm making sure that my spine and my rib cage is in the right position, my pelvis is in the right position, so that when I load my hip joint, I can load the hip joint appropriately. So that's why I always start my exercises, and even if you see me in the gym, I'm the weird dude in the gym in the corner doing my own thing. I'm starting here, long spine, setting my rib cage, creating space between my rib cage and my pelvis, because what happens to a lot of us is we squat the old-fashioned way. We squat with the bar here. We've been taught to lift the chest up and squeeze down and back with the shoulder blades. Now I want you to, actually, if you're watching this, stand up and do this with me. Pretend you have a bar on your back, stand up, arch your back, squeeze it, pack your shoulder blades way down, and now squat. And tell me, how great does that feel in your back, and how deep can you actually get into that squat? Probably not very far, because what happens is you've just locked up your thoracic erectors and your spine, you've locked up your thoracolumbar fascia, so you run out of range of motion because the pelvis can't move appropriately. So what happens is then you dump the pelvis into posterior pelvic tilt, which our industry likes to call the butt wink, but if you actually know what a butt wink is, that's not it, and you don't want to see a butt wink anyway. So it's a rapid posterior pelvic tilt, because what happens is you run out of range of motion and boom, you go into posterior pelvic tilt, because that's how you hypermobilize the lumbar spine to create more motion to get down. And that's why I don't believe back squatting is great for the majority of our clients, and only should your client do back squats if they truly want to do it and have no back pain and have good form, and or if they're doing it for a sport or activity. But most of our clients shouldn't be doing back squats. Now, how do we set our clients up for success when they squat? Long spine, create suspension. And again, do this with me. Even if you don't know exactly what I'm doing, put your fingers in your rib cage and imagine you're creating space. Space between your rib cage and your pelvis. Not space this way, that's not space. That's space in the front, but compressing the back. Think long through your back as if you're being pulled up from the back of your head and rib cage. And you can probably see me in the video, hopefully it's coming through okay, that I'm creating space and getting long here. Now from here, keep that space, put your hands on your pelvis. Now it's a whole cylinder, the whole thoracolpelvic cylinder is rotating over top the femoral heads, so that way you can squat and get really deep and still maintain that neutral or slight anterior pelvic rotation until you get as far as you can go without going posterior, and then come back up without over squeezing and driving your pelvis forward, taking it out of that more neutral position. Because when we load our clients up, it's really the exact same thing. I'm going to start here. I'm going to align and control my thoracolpelvic cylinder. I'm going to hinge. I'm going to load up with a shoulder hold dumbbell squat. So again, I got 20-pound dumbbells, so it's heavy enough for my scrawny little legs. So it's hold this position, and now it's squat, maintaining a TPC alignment, and then come back up. Squat, load eccentrically, come back up. And then one more time, squat and load, come back up, maintaining that TPC the entire time. Obviously, you can also hold and load here. You can also hold and load here. It all remains the same. The TPC should be aligned. You should still have the anterior pelvic rotation of the entire cylinder, and you maintain that length in your spine. So whether you're doing a shoulder loaded, goblet loaded, and or more of a deadlift type load, you're still maintaining the same alignment with the thoracolpelvic cylinder. Now, how does that relate to sitting? Sitting is essentially just a squat to a chair. Watch how most of your clients, and most of us, we all do this, sit down. When they sit, they just plop down in that posterior pelvic tilted position, and then they try to lift their chest up and try to fix themselves once they're sat, once they've already sat, or sitting. No, sat. Once they've already plopped down into the chair. Let's leave it at that. My English teachers in Catholic school would be like screaming at me right now. So what we want to do is set our clients up for success before they even sit down. So again, it's the same idea. Long spine, suspend that rib cage. It's a hip hinge. Sit down, align the TPC over top your pelvis. So now your TPC is stacked and aligned. Your weight is over top your hip joint. And now you can sit there and watch TV. And if you need to lean back, perfect. Lean back. Go ahead. Put some pillows behind your back. Lean back. And regardless of how well you sit or how well your clients sit, you have to change position. You have to get out of your chair. You have to move around. And if you're moving around your house, it's not a lot of space, but get up and move around. Be active with your family. Find ways to be active in your household. And get out and walk while you still can. Take a walk, take a run, go get out on your bike, get out there and be active while we still can. So again, we're here to support you any way we can. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them wherever you're watching this video, and I'll be sure to get back to them. And if there's things you want to see in the future, feel free to reach out. We're happy to be here and serve you because we have the time now. Obviously, we have lots of projects we're working on. I'm working on an online course for a master's program that I'm teaching in. I'm also working on the second edition of my Corrective Exercise Solutions book, which will be out hopefully the end of this year, now that I have time to sit down and write it. And we're also working on educating our community, supporting our community. So any way we can serve you, please let us know. And also, you know what? Let me know what you're doing. What are you doing to stay active during this time? Because we all need ideas of ways to be active and make the best of this time. And again, wherever you are, we send you peace and love, supporting you, serving you, thinking about you. Keep in touch. Stay in touch with your own communities, your own families, friends. And we'll see you next time at the Institute for Integrative Health and Fitness Education. Take care.